Whether you're looking for a way to compete in Valheim, or just bored and looking for a new way to play, these trophy hunt mods by Oathorse provide 4 distinct, and admittedly wacky competitive modes, and a 5th for an awesome new way to play Valheim casually. But first, let's cover the basics. With the mod installed, you will find a clever menu on the right side of your screen with a brief explanation and toggle for any of the 5 modes. For starters, I will start with the OG Trophy Hunt, which uses standard world modifiers and adds silhouettes of each of the game's trophies grouped by biome at the base of your screen. During your playthrough, the corresponding silhouette will animate and the icons illuminate as each trophy is added to your inventory. If too small, type trophy scale followed by a number which will increase or decrease their size with the default setting of 1. You may also use the trophy spacing text to modify how close trophies are to one another, with positive numbers increasing space and negative decreasing. Thirdly, if finding it difficult to see your score, you can add a dark background with the command toggle score background. Of course, if you find this UI too busy, feel free to toggle the display of the icons off altogether with the command show trophies. Or, as an alternative, show only deaths, which hides the user interface except for the death counter. In addition to displaying captured trophies, this mod will tally your score as you progress in the bottom left, with a tooltip displaying the detail should you pause and mouse over it. In truth, trophy hunting originated as a limited 4-hour competitive speedrun format, where each unique trophy captured is assigned a point value, with later biomes awarding more points. For reference, here's a breakdown of the rewards, with meadows worth the least at 10, rising to 50 in the Ashlands. This structure, combined with the 4-hour limit, encourages competitors to accelerate to endgame biomes with limited gear for big scores. Unfortunately, speed often comes at a price.
Oh, I'm dead.
Where points are also deducted for each death and logout, which will be tracked next to your score, represented by skull and log icons. The points deducted vary based on format, with this one revoking 20 per death and 10 per logout. For more flexibility, you can disable point loss for logouts with the ignore logouts command, but this will invalidate your run in a tournament setting, like many of the non-cosmetic controls covered here. 3 other commands are at your disposal as part of this mod, starting with the Trophy Hunt command that prints the full details of your score. Timer, which provides a series of different instructions you can use to adjust an in-game clock above your score if interested in following the standard 4-hour format. Show Path, which prints your character's full travel path on the map for an interesting recounting of your adventure. And Show All Trophy Stats, which warrants a bit more of an explanation. Above the death counter is a Midsummer Crown icon, coined the Luck-O-Meter. When hovering over the icon, a tooltip will display your overall luck score with respect to the number of creatures defeated relative to their trophy drop rate and number of trophies dropped by creatures on your run. Further, it will show your overall luckiest and unluckiest creatures and allow you to inspect a specific mob by navigating over the individual trophy icon at the base of your screen. The Show All Trophy Stats command changes the behavior of these calculations to include not only those creatures defeated by the player, but those that perhaps had fallen victim to interfaction conflict or by an environmental effect, and expands the tooltip to reflect this change. It's worth noting too that environmental effects includes creatures defeated by campfires, bonfires, or even fire arrows, which are common weapons leveraged by runners in these competitions. Apart from that, that is the classic trophy hunt. Before covering the others, it's worth noting that all the special commands covered are global and therefore compatible with each of the 4 other modes. Speaking of which, if looking for a faster alternative to the original, you can choose the Rush variant from the main menu. In this mode, world modifiers are altered to have combat at the max difficulty, but to compensate, trophy drop rates are modified to fall 100% of the time, and the resource modifier is set to 2 times regular rates. New too is the trophy silhouette's color changing to red, death and logout penalties are reduced from the standard hunt, and biome modifiers are included to award bonus points if the competitor collects every non-boss trophy in a biome. Apart from that, Rush mirrors that of the OG, making for a challenging competition, but subjected to significantly less trophy drop RNG. The other 3 and most fascinating enabled by this mod are the Saga variants in Trophy Hunt Saga, Casual Saga, and the weird and wacky Culinary SAGA. easily identifiable by blue trophy icons across all 3 modes. The first in Trophy Hunt Saga is easily my favorite, with plenty of custom behavior to keep a competition spicy and fast-paced. For starters, Saga takes the same modifiers as Rush with 2x resource drop rate, 100% trophy drop chance, but keeps the combat difficulty standard and allows for portaling of otherwise restricted material, but with a more significant death and logout penalty. Further, a host of new drops have been given to enemies and modifications to the game behavior made to accelerate play. For instance, Grayling have a small chance to drop helpful materials like core and firewood amongst others, but also a tiny chance for the Measuring Your Belt, while Trolls are given an even greater chance at nearly 100% to help alleviate the common struggle with weight on these runs. Oh wait, do you hear that? Sounds like a tuba? No, that's not in your head. While most other mods are illegal for tournament play, Tuba Walk, also by Oathorse, will play this tune while your Viking is encumbered and has quickly become a non-negotiable enhancement anytime I play Valheim. Second, Rancid Remains has a 100% chance to drop an Iron Mace, and Dvager in the Mistlands will provide roughly a dozen Yggdrasil wood. Third, the first boss the player defeats after Eikthyr will drop Emir Flesh, allowing the players to access the Frostner without having to rely on the RNG of finding Haldor. But if you do find the traitor, remember, it's mandatory you pet Halstein. Other than that, Saga makes bosses optional with an assigned boss minion for each biome, yielding the boss reward items as shown on screen. Aside from modifications to creature drops, refining structures that normally would take several minutes now refine in seconds, like coal from a kiln, thread from a spinning wheel, and barley flour from a woodmill as just a few examples. Boats sail twice as fast, planted seeds and saplings mature in mere moments, players' skills all start at level 20, and mining yields 4 times the normal resources, with ores smelting instantly as they hit your inventory. If interested in the insta-smelt behavior without the other elements of Saga, Oathorse has you covered with a standalone instant smelt mod, and like with all the others referenced in this video, will be linked in the video description. With this custom rule set, top players can reach the Ashlands within the 4-hour tournament time limits, making for exciting and fast-paced play. But this mode isn't only for those with a competitive drive, with a casual alternative removing the timer, scoreboard, and death and logout penalties so players can enjoy Valheim without the tedium, completely stress-free. And yet, this isn't the wackiest game mode in this mod, as the Culinary variant takes that crown. Culinary Saga, like Trophy, has all the same modifications to support accelerated play, but rather than track trophies for points, it tracks foods. Unsurprisingly, the silhouettes of trophies are replaced with countless food recipes, once again grouped by biome. All cooked meals are included except for feasts, as Culinary Saga is in an experimental state at the time of this video. Further, the mod in its entirety is subject to occasional revision, so by the time you're watching this, information may have changed. To stay up to date, you can always check the documentation on Thunderstore for the latest on the mod. Like with trophies, as each food is added to your inventory, the player is awarded points based on the biome of which the food originated, ascending from the meadows to Ashlands. To assist where foods require fish, the fishing rod has been added as a chance spawn from biome's boss minions, like we saw in the earlier trophy hunts, and fish baits can now drop from creatures as shown in this table. I have participated in all kinds of these tournaments and love them, and even summarized one of them for your viewing pleasure in this video right here. And if you are interested in joining a future trophy hunt, join the speedrunning Discord in the video description, and make sure you show Oathorse some love in the comments below.